I'll just do a review of something because yesterday I was trying to get something to work and it was not working. I spent probably an hour on it with no luck. So I did get it working. I just want to show how it works. So I have, we'll go into one of these levels. When I press U, we're gonna move this to like a loop. But when I press U, I get this upgrade menu, and basically I can choose from one of the 3 upgrades. So I'll pick laser cannon, and then it applies that upgrade to my ship. So the idea here is, I don't really like the way the upgrade system currently works, like the 3 things at the bottom: fire rate, projectile range, and projectile damage. I think it's fine, but to me it's just not that fun. I think it would be better if we had like a system where like the player got all of those things through like picking up stuff when the enemies die, and we can use the currency for other things like outside of the level. And the idea would be to, to incentivize people to finishing levels, kind of like get that grindiness of the game if they want to get like certain benefits of the game and such. So yeah, so this works now. Let's get a missile so this level's a little bit easier. And these missiles again, super overpowered. Like, look at this. I can just sit in one spot and just wipe out anything that comes close. Oh, no, maybe not. This part's a little intense, I guess. But yeah, so now I'll just talk through kind of how we got that to work, because what is this? Oh, yeah, there's still like a bug on the loot. This is the currency. So what happens is like the currency is being spawned, and then we have this lerp that's moving it to the player. But if the player dies while there's currency, then it just basically can't do that anymore. So I think we need to do like an is valid check here on player ship or something. But I'll keep this open to work on that. Got to do one thing at a time. So here's the function that we made. So when the upgrade select menu is open, we're going to clear this. I actually don't think this is necessary. I think this was a troubleshooting thing. So let's take that out, because it should be cleared every time. Like, we should start with a fresh one. Then what we're doing is we're doing this do end loop, and we're doing it 3 times so that there's 3 upgrades. We're gonna do get random upgrade, and this is gonna return a struct, and then we'll do create loot upgrade widget and add that to this horizontal box that's like right in the middle. This also was troubleshooting stuff, so we can take that out. All right, so then really the only thing, this is what we were working on. I tried like a few different iterations and everything seemed to be not working. I got frustrated on the stream, basically like gave up on it. I had some stuff to do anyway, so kind of left it undone. So I just wanted to show that we got it working. I also put this on my Discord so that people could see it there. But basically, get random upgrade gets this loot table. It's we're gonna add everything from the loot table to this local variable possible upgrades. But what we want to do is we want to check which ones we already have, so we're not just spawning like 3 of the same upgrade, which was happening. And it was I mean, just wouldn't be that fun if like you were powering through a level and then you got 3 of the exact same upgrade, like what's the point, you know? I mean, even if it was something super powerful, I think you want the choice. Like that's the point of a game like this. Like it's giving you that choice so you feel like you're a little bit in control of what you're getting. So it's going to add all those to a local array, and then we're going to choose a random one from that array. We're going to set that as a local variable so that we can remove it from this, so we can add it to the chosen upgrades so that the next time we loop through this, we're not going to get that one. And then we'll take that, get the row name from our loot table that we set up in the project, and then return that row's loot struct there. And then that'll create this widget. And then in the widget, it's probably not that interesting, but we just have the upgrade name, a little picture, and a description. And we're just pulling all those out of that loot table. When the player clicks one, this is a little bit wonky. I mean, if we had been knowing that we were going to do this from the beginning, we probably wouldn't have done it this way. But basically what I did is I took an existing system and I'm trying to make it work for this new upgrade system. So we get that loot class of whatever struct was passed into this widget. We're going to spawn actor. We're going to collect loot from that actor. Collect loot will destroy the actor that we spawn. It's already part of that, so we don't need to do that. And then in our game mode, we'll call resume game, which just pulls us out of that menu and puts us back into the game. So I'll do one more demo real quick. But what I want to do is set this up on a loot. And I'm even thinking, because like if, oh, that's weird. I really can't hit that gun. That's funny. Like in this situation here, right? I mean, I guess it depends on the level, but I'm always just going to pick missile launcher. I've made it too powerful. Maybe it's a balancing thing. Maybe after hours of play testing and balancing, we could get it right. But I'd almost like let's do another one. Yeah, like here, maybe I pick extra ship if I'm low on ships and I'm like near the end of level and I'm like, hey, like I just don't think. But like, I'm not gonna pick laser cannon. It's almost like a tier lower, right? So I think it would almost make sense to have like tiers of loot, and maybe like when it's making you pick 3, they're all from the same tier. Maybe I'm putting too much thought into it, I guess. It's like, you know, this is the last week of the course. We're kind of just showing some extra stuff that people could do. Maybe I'm getting too into it. Like, I'm not going to release this as a full game, so I guess I don't care that much. All right. So, but yeah, like, I'm never going to pick armor refill. I don't know, maybe I would, but I'm not going to pick it over extra ship, right? I guess there's a situation like if you had a ton of weapons, it'd be better to like refresh your armor than to have another ship, I guess. But like in most cases, if I'm playing this game, I'm just picking missile launcher. Like if it pops up, I'm just like, heck yeah. Like look at this, it's just like now I'm just unstoppable. Oh, there's another one. Like I don't even need to move anymore. You can just sit here. Oh, I probably should have gotten that. Maybe the missiles need to not be on the screen as long. Maybe that would fix the balancing. Because like if the enemy dies, like the missiles are still there and then they just find the next thing. That could be, like, it could be that if the enemy dies, the missile just explodes, maybe. I don't know. That could balance it. Like, if target is no longer valid, just destroy itself. Because now I can just, like, chill. I mean, you're hopefully not going to get this many weapons. Like, I'm kind of cheated, so I guess that's not really a fair assessment of the game. Yeah, I think, like, the hope would be that you wouldn't actually have that many upgrades by the end of the level. All right. So now I want to get this as a loot, which should be pretty easy. I already have a loot here. So all I need to do is override collect loot. Right? Is that what's done here? No, this is the one I didn't do that way. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at this one. I guess actually I don't need to override this. I just need to override collect loot, and I already have a reference to player, so that's good. We'll call, we'll get game mode. And we'll call upgrade select. All right. So this should work now. Let's make this thing look cool though. I want to add a mesh and a Niagara system. And the mesh for now, like what would be a good mesh? Because I could just go make it in Blender real quick. Like if I saw, what would I want to see on the screen? And then also, like there's a situation where this spawns in a place where the player can't get it. So do we make it like slowly, like maybe not so fast as the currency, but maybe make it like slowly moving towards the player? Let's think. Maybe just like a orby ball with a bunch of orbs. So maybe we don't even need the mesh. Let's just make the Niagara system. Maybe we can just make that look cool enough. What do I want? let's just start with this. Let's start with this. We'll call this upgrade. All right. I do know, like, there's one that I want in here. Shape location. You can sphere distribution, uniform. No. Direct. Yeah, so we can have like a little spirally thing. Module has unmet dependencies, fix issue, spawn rate. 3? Do I get 3 if I do that? Nope. Spawn count 3. Nope. Maybe I need like a fountain for that, for what I'm trying to do. Velocity 0. I'm not that good at this. I just usually guess until I like got something that looks what I want it to, or I just find something on YouTube. But I think what I want is, first of all, to have much less of those. I want them to not be around nearly as long. I want them to, I guess that's a good size. I want them to spawn from a bigger sphere. Let's do 50. And then that looks kind of neat. Gravity I want off, so that they just look like they're like flowing up, like little light particles, you know. The color, let's do a random range, and we'll do from this blue to a darker blue, maybe. That's all right. I feel like if we use this, though, we do need like some type of mesh in the middle of that. But I mean, that would get the player's attention at least, you know? It's like this little spinny, glowy thing. I think that looks fine for what we're doing. This one would be cool if it was like not in a circle, if it was just kind of like randomly. So maybe we don't need this. This. No, we do need that. All right. Particle state. Initialize particle. First. Shape location. transform. Rotation mode. Is this the one? I don't want any of this. That looks good. Good enough. Good enough for what we're doing, right? Again, we're not making... Alright. This one now, I want to do upgrade. And then the mesh. This is where I'm just like, what could it be? Maybe just a sphere. We'll make like a cool, that's too big. We can make a, why is it not letting me set the material on this? There we go. Do we have a glowy one? Well, this is linked. Yeah. Let's move this up a little bit. That looks fine. Let's put one in the level and see what it looks like. I think I want another one of those like orbiting rings, but it works, so that's good. So now we just need to, I do like that that ring. I almost kind of want like another one. Like if we let's move this over here, and if we duplicate this, duplicate it. There we go. But with the shape location, we do like 200 and 5. No, that does the same thing. I want to like change how fast it rotates, because they're just going like the same speed now, and it looks dumb. Like I feel like it should be here, but it's not. Maybe it's another one of these. I feel like it's this one though, but I just don't. Sphere distribution, random. that just direct? I don't know. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the party. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to use Niagara. Let's make this one a little bit bigger too. But all I want to do is change the speed at which it's rotating. So they're not going at the, like, looking like that. That looks dumb. Rotation mode. Like, it seems like this would just be like, oh, is it just not? All right. Maybe there's like another thing I need. I don't even see it now. There it is. So this doesn't do what I want it to do. Or, oh, it's just in the middle. Rotation phase 1. Rotation radius. Oh, it is moving. Oh, that's wonky. Okay. Oh, that's cool. But it looks weird as heck. Like, why is it jumpy like that? It's like jittery. Maybe it's this. Derive the rotation axis. That's... That's interesting. Good enough, right? Good enough for what we need. Let's see how it looks in the game. I feel like those need to be bigger though. It's like really hard to see it. Where's the other one? The other one just like completely disappeared. Emitter size, particle 50, 30. Oh, why is that one over there? That's weird. Is it this one? Rotate around point. Rotation. Center. Like, I just want it to be its own point. rotate around point. I want it to be its own point. Like, it's here, like right where my player spawns. So maybe we can't have that one. All I want to do is just make it not rotate the same rotation as that, so it looks dumb. All right, sphere distribution, uniform. Nope. Well, maybe. Like, it's just chilling up there. Random. Direct. Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool, right? Can we like set this to a range? Random vector. Evaluation type, every frame. Whoa, look at that. Now we're talking. What if we slow it down? No, what if we... Oh, God. That's just too fast now. Oh, it's, maybe that's just not. I don't know how I got it back to what I wanted though. Let's look at this now. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think a player would know to touch that, right? All right. So that's working. Now we just need to make it so that the enemies drop that set of loot. Do we feel like 10% of the time is still good? Let's play. Oh, we can just start with one. We forgot to delete it. What do we got? Let's go with power cannon. Those enemy particles are a little bit hard to see with this light. The lighting in this level. Maybe I just need to turn down the lighting in the level. Oh man. That was luck. That was luck, right? I'm unstoppable. There we go. 10% might be too much. Especially if there was like a lot more enemies, I think 10% would be too much. Like, look at that. I just got another one, if I can get it. Right here, you're almost guaranteed to get one, right? Because there's just so many enemies. Like I got that one at the beginning, but otherwise these are all just ones that I got organically. So I think 10% is just too much. Maybe 20%. Those enemy projectiles are really hard to see though, that's for sure. Also my power rockets are just like not even, are they like too high or something? They're like not hitting the, I guess I think that enemy is too high. Or too low. I can't hit it. Only my rockets are hitting it. Did something bump me? Because that should be right at 0. Like even right here. Oh, yeah, something must have bumped me. I'm not at 0 anymore. That's weird. Maybe I need, oh, you know what probably is? This thing probably has collision on it. No collision. Overlap all. That might be it. That could be it. It might not be it. I don't know. That one looks annoying. It's I just wish I could. Have it. Oh, what if I do -1, -1, -1? There we go. Now we're rotating the opposite direction. That's better. This one though is that looks cool. Good enough. All right. So that was what I wanted to do there. Those enemy particles are hard to see though. I wonder if I can go fix that. Enemy projectile. Is that what it's? Sphere. I think there's one like right at the beginning of this level we could go check out. You idiot. Maybe just, all right, so first of all, let's lower the lighting. I think the lighting is just too bright. But also, maybe this particle. Initialize particle. Color. Direct set. Let's make it like a orangish. I'm gonna delete this one too. I think I made it harder to see. Okay, maybe it's just too orange. Particle update. Could we change the color as it's color? Scale color. Yeah, whatever. All right. So that's like kind of all I wanted to do with this game. I guess we could like try to do some more level design. Like level 1.3. Doesn't really have anything. Yeah, because like I think the point is I want the player to be able to have like a few different levels to play. So this game is like kind of just like really unfinished. Like all the systems work. This should be more though. Let's do 15. All the systems are working. Like this level's kind of fun. The next level you just like 1-2. You just fight the boss. Pretty much. And he's way too easy. Where's his life? I guess like in this level those are a lot easier to see. They were harder to see in the other, like before. Like, why is... Alright. Yeah, this level's... I think like the thing with this level is like you could kind of cheese it by just playing it for a while and getting like there's essentially no time limit, right? Oh, yeah, those bombs are... I think that reddish one looks good. There we go. Oh man, I shouldn't have picked that one. I should have picked the armor refill because I'm just gonna lose it if I get hit by one of those stupid... Like, basically, if anything hits me right now, I lose it. So I gotta be... Oh. Alright. So if you get the power cannon, you just win that one. Cool. And now we have 1-3. But like... Oh, I don't have the second level unlocked. Is that on purpose? So I think like to finish this game, I need to have at least like a few levels in the first world, and then you unlock the second world. And I think that would demonstrate that everything is working. Without a 4K screen. Yeah. Yeah, I've just recently started learning how to work these things. There's actually a guy on YouTube. Let me see if I can find his channel real quick. CG How, I think is his name. Yeah. Oh, it won't let me chat with my own. Let's try this. Oh, I can hear myself. I don't like it. Let's do that. Let's do this. That guy's pretty good. There's also a guy, Code Like Me, who has just random videos. I think he just picks something to learn and then just goes through it and like learns it while showing you how he learns it. Code Like Me is pretty cool to watch. The thing I like about Code Like Me is he does not edit. Well, from what I can perceive, it does not look like he edits his videos at all. Like there's one where I heard him like burping and coughing, and it just like kind of made me laugh a little bit. Like no, like I'm not trying to say that to be mean. It's just like an observation. But like one of the good things about him not editing, I mean, one of the bad things is you have to listen to him like coughing and burping. But one of the good things is that he, you kind of get to like see behind the veil a little bit of how he like works through things. And like honestly, sometimes like I've noticed he doesn't really know what he's trying to do. He just kind of knows like how he's trying to get there. It's kind of like watching me watching these streams. You get to watch me like freak out and not be able to understand how to pull some stuff from an array for like an hour. Yeah, like when I'm uploading my videos, I try to like heavily edit them, so you don't have to listen to like me breathing and coughing. And like there was a couple videos where I had COVID, and or I was getting over COVID is probably a better way to say it, and I had like a really bad cough, and like every 10 seconds I'm just like having a coughing fit. And let me tell you, editing those was not fun. It was just like, okay, it was funny, but like by the end of editing those couple videos, I could like see the like the audio signature of my cough, so I knew when they were happening before they happened. So I would just like automatically cut them out, like because there was just I could like recognize the audio signature of my coughing by the end. So that was cool. But yeah, Niagara is really cool. It's actually kind of fun. I wish I was better at it, because most of the time I just have to like hack through it. But I think if I spent more time, I could probably get there. But yeah, it's I have a lot of fun doing it. I think CG How has a pretty good handle on it. His videos seem to be pretty solid. He also has a Udemy course that I bought. I just never went through it, but in there he teaches a little bit more advanced stuff than on his YouTube. But also like I just, you know, I appreciate the free content, so I don't mind buying paid content or like paying for someone's Patreon. Especially now that I am creating content and I understand like how much work goes into it. You know, I think being able to support people is good. That being said, I do not have a Patreon, and I'm not asking for your money. I just want to make free stuff that's fun to watch. So, for now at least. Someday I'm gonna ask for your money. What do we want to do? Let's make level 1-3. I thought I had more stuff in this. Apparently I do not. I was using this to like test some stuff, but apparently I deleted it all. What I wanted, like, yeah, this is a landscape. I wanted it to be like going through like, because we created this system where we could like follow this track, and we can make the track kind of like turn and move. So I thought it'd be fun to have one that like kind of wound through some canyons, and at the end, you know, like you get there and you're done. Yeah. All right, so let's do that. Let's first start by making our track actually wind through the canyon. So let's do this. And then I want to add a point to this. Can I do this? Oh yeah. I pressed Alt. Let's get a top-down view so we can kind of like see where our path is taking us. And then once we get the path, we can build the landscape around it, basically. I don't know the tolerance of our turning, so I don't want to make these like too tight. I guess we could try it and see how it looks. Maybe in point, like maybe we can do a really tight turn, but there's no enemies there. So it's not like annoying. All right, we're getting close to the end. We are. All right, so I think that's good. And let's I kind of want to like just have the last 2 points like be dead on, so that we can like recenter ourselves basically before we get to the end of this mesh. All right, there's only going to be a couple enemies. I basically just want to like follow the track and see how it looks. Yeah. So I can see off the edge of the track there, so I need to fix that. It's interesting because they're like come in from an angle, but it's like it's a little trippy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a little bit trippy. It's cool though, right? I mean, we built this system, we might as well be using it. Whoa, that's a tight turn. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. All right, I want to make the canyon walls now kind of form around. So I need to, one, you can see off the map in multiple locations. Whoa, that was a tight turn. I think we actually might have a problem though with this level. I kind of need to make it that if you hit the landscape, you die. Maybe. Is that unfun? I guess we could try it. And if it feels unfun, then we can end it. So first off, let's go to landscape mode. We need to add some space. We never really like saw off the map too far, I guess. So it doesn't need to be like that far. We could try this. That should be like sufficient, I think. And then also like, all right, let's just do one thing at a time. Why is my that's weird. All right, let's go back here. Like this is yeah, I don't know why, but that was like my landscape was all stretched out. Must have done it on accident, or maybe I was doing something. In that case, this thing's just got much bigger, right? Let's make it more interesting. Let's first of all change this to be 10,000. Nope, 10,000. It doesn't need to be that big, but let's do 15,000. And then here, my track, just move a few of these. Well, let's move our nav mesh this way a little bit. Also, I think it's jarring when the player like turns right off the bat. So this, I'm going to just like that. And then this one should be, come on, man. Want to like spread them out a little bit more. good. All right, now let's make some canyon walls. We'll select our landscape and let's go to this view. Oh, maybe that's too high. All right. Like during this tight turn here, there should be no enemies, because that would just... Maybe the point is you have to not hit the walls or something. Which means we could also like put some random like spires. Like maybe here, there's just like so we need in this level to make something. Increasing your desktop overall scale would solve it. Solve the not being able to see issue. See how this looks. I guess you can't really tell where the edge of the cavern is sometimes. Ooh, that's not what I want. Now I've broke the game. We definitely need, because like this will legit break the game if we can touch those walls. And it's really hard to see where the walls are. And my frame rate seems to be my computer is yelling at me right now. Like, dude, not cool. I think if we lowered the angle of the sun, it might help a little bit. Because there'd be like more contrast and shadows. But that actually might make it harder, because if you're like in the shadow, I don't know. I think maybe honestly what I just need is oh, you're talking about like in your display settings changing the resolution of the monitor. Yeah, So I do like this. I think it's cool. I think that there's a couple problems we need to solve. First of all, my frame rate is complete garbage, which might just be because, like, when I do this, my frame rate jumps up. I think it's just because I have like too big of a and then here we could be at the end of the level fighting something. Alright, so first thing we need to solve, other than our landscape looking completely terrible, let's try a couple things. First thing, let's go back to selection mode. My light, where are you? I want to that might help a little bit. Like, you got more contrast between the canyon walls. Yeah, I think that helps a little bit. I do think I need to paint the walls of the canyon like a different color so that they stand out more. Also, I noticed that the autopilot is frame rate dependent, which is why get delta time. I think this will solve that. Nope. Get delta seconds. Delta world seconds. I think this will solve that frame rate issue. Nope. Where's my player? Is there a get frame rate? Get frame rate. Or do you need to divide this by 1 to get the inverse maybe? Like 1 divided by delta seconds equals. Look at that. That's what I needed. Now that autopilot was like always going to be there depending no matter like what my frame rate is. So like my frame rate just dropped, autopilot's still perfect. And this was actually told to me by one of the viewers on my channel. Because I noticed like this value seemed to change and they were basically like, yeah, you need to do this. So I appreciated that. So that's fixed. So the autopilot's always going to be good now. The DPI scale. Oh, so you're saying like in here? Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Let's change the music. This is depressing. It was called like Cozy or something like that, that channel, and it's I think they have a different idea of cozy than I do. All right. It's 150 bump up to 200. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. This. This makes everything tiny. Oh, whoa. Makes it bigger. All right, is that easier to read? I guess it is, huh? It looks huge now. Hey, that's great. Can you guys read that? All right. So maybe when I'm streaming, I'll do that. Because when I am just working on my computer, everything feels so big. All right. So in here, I think I need to set something that when I hit the wall, basically. Can you, I wonder if I could do this through the level blueprint. Create a reference to landscape. Can I do a collision on begin overlap? If this is the player. Ship. Yes, and we're squinting. All right. So I'm gonna make a note of that. When I'm streaming, I gotta do this. It's for the viewers. All right. When this happens, what is death processing? Kill the player. Let's see if this works. Nope. Isn't that what it's called? Damage, death processing. Because I'm like legit breaking the game right now. I'm too high, can't get me. On begin overlap. Collision. Overlap all. Oh man. That broke the navigation. Generate overlap events. Maybe the player's ship. Maybe like this. Maybe like the mesh itself needs to not have collision. No collision. Let's try this. No. Oh, I went through the wall. that change from going to vertically to follow the path you draw. Yeah, it's in the course. I lost how you did the change going from. Yeah, it's when I like dreamed up this game, I had this idea that you're almost on like a rail. So there's this thing called BP track. It's in every level, and basically it's just a spline that you can just make do whatever you want. And then, so in this game's a little bit different, and this is in my course. But you have player camera is actually what we are possessing. No. Player camera is the player. This is handling all of the inputs, all the controls. And player camera spawns player ship, which is this, or there's like multiple ones you could pick. So when you are inputting any controls into the game, player camera is passing those to player ship, and player ship will move around based upon that input. But player camera has this function called follow track, or an event called follow track, and basically it there's a lot of stuff going on here, but essentially it's got a timeline, and we start at the starting point and we alert to the ending point of the track with location and rotation. Yeah. It's like there's a lot going on here. But I can show a little bit. So like, where is it? Yeah, you'll notice like this is player ship, but there's not a lot here, right? We handle damage. We handle like spawning the weapons. We actually do handle firing through this, but it's interesting because like we can pick up more weapons. So essentially what happens is like we're building weapons on an array, and then we're sending a fire event to every single weapon. So each weapon is actually like firing itself. Hey, that is a lot to read. But thank you for subbing. I appreciate the support. But yeah, each weapon is actually firing itself. So in this week, we talk a lot about, and this is weeks 5, 6, and 7 of the course, half of 7 really, because half of 7 we talk about source control, and then we finish off by talking about this project for the rest of it. But essentially, we talk a lot about object-oriented programming, we talk about inheritance, talk about, you know, continuing to like have good systems that are scalable and, you know, can easily be enhanced. Like when I did finally get that upgrade system working, it was super easy to just make a new power up, make it look pretty, put the event on there, and everything worked. So the idea there being like, as you're developing your game and you're like creating new systems, you don't have to like reprogram everything every single time. If you're doing that, if you're finding like as you're programming things, you have to go back and reprogram other things, then you're kind of like, one, it's not scalable. As the game grows, you continue to, you know, make problems for yourself basically. But if you're working on a team of people and they like just becomes really, really hard to manage. Like if you're doing your own project, like who cares, right? If it works. But in my opinion, you're just making it so much harder on yourself. All right, so player camera is like the player. Like if we go to the game mode, like player camera is our default pawn, so that's what we're possessing. Player camera then does a lot. It's going to get some level information, so it can like set up the level. It's going to spawn a ship controller, which does handle some of this stuff as well. Handles, yeah, like this is actually one place where it gets a little bit weird, because player camera is kind of like doing everything, but then it's passing control to like player ship or ship controller. So ship controller is handling like the movement of the ship in space. It also handles when you spawn a new ship. We call this event called possess ship, where we basically you know, take possession of the physical ship. Got us some real great, yeah, that's, you know, like I don't think any course should ever say like we're gonna make a complete game from scratch. What I think courses should say is we're gonna provide you the template to make a prototype, and in the course we make 4 prototypes, and they're pretty diverse. Like they're not really the same, so you can basically pick one that you like and make more of it, you know, make it a full course, make it a full project. But the goal of the course is really just to provide you some prototype templates to build upon, and we're doing that using very solid like programming principles that are scalable. So I'm not saying all of the advice is perfect, but most of the things that are in the course are things that, you know, would scale to a complete game. And it seems like everyone mostly steers towards like the Haunted House Project. It's like a survival horror type game. That's the one that people seem to like the best, but this one is actually the one I had the most fun making. This game to me is just a lot of fun. And I like, if I was going to take one of the 4 projects and make it a complete game, it would be this one. I love games like this. When I was a kid, like these were the best games. Yeah, so you put ship movement on the player controller. Yeah, so, and that's because this is in Unreal Engine. I guess we could, but like you can't, I guess we could have. We could have just like completely just kept all of this stuff on player camera. But ship controller is handling moving the ship around in the level. Yeah, and I'll say maybe it's just the fact that most people haven't made it this far into the course. I think people maybe get to like week 3 and 4 and get sick of it, I guess. I don't know. But if you make it through the whole course, like if you stop before this project, you're kind of like never really getting to the good stuff, because weeks 1 and 2 are really just basics. Like, here's how to use Unreal Engine. Here's like what a function is. Here's what a variable is. Here's how to like set up an input, you know, how to set up a controller, things like that. What's the game mode? Weeks 3 and 4 get into a little bit of like meaty programming. There's a few things that we do in there that are a little bit like, we talk about interfaces and things like that. Interfaces, event dispatchers. So that's like a little bit meatier. But like this project is where we like really start getting into like we do a lot with inheritance. We do a lot with like all of our enemies. Like we have all these different enemy types, and they all start with enemy base, and then we basically just put all of the core functionality of an enemy on there, and then whenever I want to make a new enemy, it's really easy because it already has that core functionality. Then I just need to reprogram like the 1 or 2 things to make it unique. Like the difference between this darter enemy, which just kind of moves through the level, and the chaser enemy is like one function. And the chaser is like gonna move around and try to like get to the player. But I only had to change like one thing to make that. The bomber drops bombs in the level. Only had to change one thing to make that from enemy base. The bomb is also of type enemy. I had to change a couple things, mainly because I wanted the bombs to be stationary, like not moving through the level. But it's still an enemy, like all the core functionality is there. And then even like making these bosses, like I made 2 bosses for the first 2 levels. The gunship boss is a little bit more involved, but that's part of the course as well. We're talking about like inheritance, AI. And so there's like a little bit of advanced AI on this, not advanced, more advanced AI, but all of that core functionality is still there. So it was really easy to just kind of like set up. But yeah, so player camera is like, you can see here, I'm really bad at commenting my code. It's handling like all of the inputs, so firing. And basically what happens is when we press the left mouse button, we do this firing. This is that trigger. And then we go to player ship. We're going to check if it's valid also, because the player ship can be dead, and then if you fire, you're going to get errors. So if the player ship is there, meaning it's valid, we start fire, and when we release it, we stop firing. And this on player ship gets all of our active weapons, and it goes through each weapon and calls start firing on the weapon. So the ship is sending out through an interface to each individual weapon to start firing, and then each individual weapon handles its own firing, and that's what allows us to have like different weapon types. Like they don't all work the same. It's gonna call out to each one of them like, hey, I'm firing, and then each of those weapons can handle its own functionality. You know, like this is a thing that I talk a lot about on Discord and Reddit, and that's good. I'm happy. I'm happy you can read them. But like when we think about object-oriented programming, like one of the biggest, I think, mistakes people make is they make like one thing that handles everything, and like you could put every single thing on player ship, right? Or whatever your character is, whatever the character in your game is, you could put all of the functionality for that character on that character and just have it do everything, right? But if you need to make one change to that character, or like you need to change one system, you have to change, like you may have to change everything on that character to make something work. So like even something as simple as like putting the controls on a player controller so that the controls themselves are being handled by the controller, and then the character is handling like just the things that the character needs to do. And like an example that I always give is if you're driving a car and you want to go faster, you press the gas, and if you want to slow down, you press the brake. But you're not physically speeding up and slowing down the car. You just have 2 levers, and the car knows what those mean. The car knows what it means when you press the gas, and it handles accelerating. And the car knows what it means when you press the brake, and it handles braking or turning. But like when I turn the steering wheel, I'm not physically going down and grabbing the wheels and like turning them. The car is turning them. And like when you think about programming, you should try to use like that same mentality. Like I am sending a command to something, and then that thing should handle what it needs to do. And I'm not going to go and like do it for it, you know. It's going to do it itself. And so that's like in this project of the course, that's something that we talk about a lot, is like each thing should have its own job. And this makes for way better programming. It makes for scalable programming. It makes for like programming that's easy to change if you need to make one tweak. It's a little bit more complex, but you know, if you go through the course, I think I break it down well enough that you can kind of get it. All right, so man, that was quite the monologue. What do we need to do here? I want to die when I hit the wall, but it's not working. Is it this one? No, it's always this one. Yeah. Maybe we need to do it on the ship. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It means like at least people aren't like sick of hearing me monologue. Collision. I can't believe we don't have this yet. So, I wonder if we can do like this. Landscape. Cast to landscape. Right. I guess that's like the joy of streaming. Like, I just get to monologue the whole time, right? And you guys just get to listen to me talk. Like, I can just ignore the chat and just talk for an hour. All right, I won't do that. Shows how they worked with inheritance on GTA 3. Yeah. I mean, this is just like a... Like, if you go to school for programming, it's very common that they're going to teach you about object-oriented programming. I have a video specifically on it. I talk a lot about it in the course later on in week 6. 5 and 6 maybe. A little bit more in 7. But I also have like a video specifically on object-oriented programming and like the principles of it and how to make scalable software or scalable games landscape. Like, I want to not break the game. But my landscape can generate overlaps, right? I did do that. Generate overlap events. What's the difference between these two? During level streaming? I'm not doing that, I don't think. Let's try it though. No. Let's do a custom. And if it's a character, if it's a pawn, let's overlap. Oh, I died. Okay. Well, it worked. That's better than where we were. but it only works when I hit it from the other side, which is interesting. Like, I can go through the wall, but I can't come back. And also, like, shouldn't it be spawning me, like... Alright, let's look at what death processing does. Alright. Camera is valid, so we should destroy the ship and all the weapons, and then we destroy actor. This is going to remove a ship, set timer by event, and then we're going to respawn. What is this? So why isn't that? All right. The interesting thing is, like, I just don't know why it's like spawning the ship. Like, why isn't it spawning the ship where I want it? Die. Alright. Like, it's not spawning it back on the screen. So there's two problems here. The first one is we can go through it, but we can't come back. That kills us. But then, like, where is it spawning? What's underneath here? How does this look from the other side? Like, why does it do it one way but not the other? I don't think I'm level streaming. Oh, like that time I just hit something. Oh, am I just like... Like that time it worked. And then I just die. This is a very interesting problem to solve. Also, like, maybe we don't. Maybe that's just like too hard. I don't know. All right. Maybe maybe that's too hard. Maybe this level will be like, maybe it just needs to like do some damage. But then we need to still not be able to go through it. Let's change this. Collision. Block all. Maybe trigger an explosion animation when you hit a mountain. Yeah, the problem is like I can like go through it. Oh, you're saying like to show where I am? Yeah. That might work. I think it's actually just like too hard. If you hit it, you just die. I guess it's like makes the level challenging. All right. The problem is like I need to be able to like not climb the walls like this, right? Because now I like just broke the game basically. But it's interesting like how I can only collide with the walls when I'm coming the opposite way also. Or like, no, because when I hit that other wall, that's interesting. Let's put this back. There's an observation that I didn't really realize until I just was like talking through it. All right. So like when I go this way, I can go through the wall, but I can't come back, right? But when I go this way, it happens like, oh, well, that was also wrong. Why did it work? All right. It's like it's generating on the wrong side of the mesh or something. Great. Yeah. Nothing like being annoyed with Unreal Engine on stream, right? Like, I can go into the wall, but I can't come back. That's the interesting part to me. But yeah, let's actually, now that you say that though, I do kind of want an explosion. Do we have an explosion? I think there's one that like comes with the starter content. Explosion. But it's the old particle system. That's fine. We can use that. Spawn particle. Particle. Spawn emitter allocation. Explosion. Get actor location. Yeah. Where's the next one? Right there. What? That was actually a really good idea. I appreciate that. Let's make it bigger. I want to see it. I want to like really see it. It is like actually, it's like there. But why is it? It's got to be something here, right? Maybe I am actually colliding with it. What if we do this? Maybe I am actually colliding with it when I respawn. Ooh. Boom. Look at that. We did it. Thank you. Yeah, I think now I don't. Well, I don't know. Let's try to do this. Let's try to set this back to block all. And see what happens. No. But we do now know that we can die when we hit the canyon walls, which makes this level a little bit more fun, in my opinion. It does mean that the enemies can go through the walls now, so I got to be a little bit cautious about how I like spawn enemies into the world. But maybe like there's less enemies in this level and it's just about like not hitting the walls. Like that's the primary challenge. Ooh, gotta watch out for those walls. Now there needs to be, like now I definitely need to make the canyon walls like more apparent. So now I just need to spend some time landscaping. This is definitely one of my favorite parts of Unreal Engine. I just want my job to be just 3D Bob Rossing all day. Yeah, this I think this level could be really fun. Just maybe I mean, I don't think we should have 0 enemies, but I think like having the challenge of not hitting the walls makes it really like more interesting and like different than the other levels, right? It just shows some extra things as a programmer, like that we're capable of, you know. At some point, yeah, that's actually, that's an interesting problem to solve. I think that could make for some interesting levels. Like if you had to diverge, like pick a path, basically. I don't think our current system is set up to handle something like that, but it could be something to work on for sure. Yeah, I think like I don't know enough about splines, but I think you would almost need like, so one of the things that I wanted to do was that if I was going to scale this to a whole game and not just for a YouTube course, is I would like to be able to have multiple splines, and this may like just solve, like kind of do the same thing that what you're suggesting. So like right now the spline is basically like a roller coaster track or like a train track, and the camera's just going to follow that track, but when it gets to the end, like that's just the end of the level at any time. So what I would like to be able to do is update the system to, when you get to this end of one spline, you could have a function to pick up another spline. So like where this one ends, we could maybe have like, for what you're saying, like have two different splines going in two different directions, and there would be like a prompt to the player like you got to go one way or the other, you know, and then pick up the next spline. Because I think like something that would be fun in this game is like in certain levels that you like get to a point where you like kind of stop and you have to like overcome some obstacle, like maybe there's like a swarm of enemies, and then you pick up the next spline. I also think it would be fun if like there was a point where like the like maybe you could like free fly your ship around, even, you know, like the complete controls of the ship changed where you're like, let's say we get to this big clearing and it's like, all right, you got to go kill all of these enemies in this clearing, and it gave us control to like steer the ship our own way, and then when that's done we pick up the next spline or something. You know, a lot of ideas, like if you were going to make this a complete game, that you could definitely like dive into and could be really fun and interesting for the player. But yeah, for a YouTube course, I just think that's probably a little bit too involved. Again, I'm not trying to make like full-blown games here. It's really just show people some of the power of Unreal Engine, get them thinking about how to use it for their own projects, you know, and give them some tools to do what they want. All right, I definitely, once I get this shape of the canyon good, I definitely want to paint it so that the walls of the canyon are a different shade, because I think that's really confusing to the player. Maybe here a little bit. Yeah, this game as a co-op game, it would be so much fun, honestly. Like, I don't know how someone hasn't made this game already as a co-op game. Like, this is a game that I would 100% just be like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, because how I would imagine it is like you even have like, because like one of the things I haven't showed today or tomorrow or yesterday is like there's a whole upgrade system and everything. Not upgrade system. There's like an unlock system, right? So you can like you can unlock things. We set up in the system. We set up in the game because I was trying to teach how the game instance class works and the game save class. or the save game class. So basically, like as you beat each level, you can unlock rewards that then you can use to like upgrade your ship and you know, do various things. Like the currency that we collect, you can collect it over time. So you can just like, if you want to save up some for something, you can just grind and grind and grind to get it. But what I imagine is like you unlock different ships that are almost like RPG classes. Like you got like a tankier one, you got like, you know, DPS, you got some support ships that maybe just like help the other players not die. This looks a little smooth. I don't want to like do it too much, the smoothing, because I want there to be like a very clearly defined line, like you're going to hit the wall and die. And then I can painting, I need to actually set up a landscape system, because I think I just have it as like a it's just like one material, so I got to set up a landscape material. Which means I need to remember how to do that. I know that we want, what is it called? Landscape layer blend. Rock. Dirt. Grass. No, that's not what I want. I want a texture sample. Rock. What is the one that we have in there called? Gravel. Is it this one? Yes. All right. Do I want... I think I want dirt to be the base layer though. Can I just move it up? That's done. What? Space. Why is it not popping up here? That looks terrible, but we can fix that by... We'll fix it later. Right now I just want to get it. All right. Paint. I just want to make it very clear where these walls are. The scaling, like, okay, first of all, the one I do want to change is the roughness. Goodness gracious. We do not need that. Do not like shiny landscapes. So the tiling we can easily fix by just setting up a function to, like, I don't know what the term for it is, but basically what you're doing is tool strength to 1. Basically what you're doing is layering it on top of itself at different sizes, and it clears up the tiling issues. Does that stand out? There's no point. Yeah, so like that very much stands out. Like, don't touch that, right? Or I guess that they would figure that out the first time they touch it. Boom, you're dead. Don't touch the walls. You'll die. Yeah, I gotta remember how that math works. But basically you take this and you like create multiple sizes and then you layer them all on top of each other. You like blend them together. I have it in actually, I think we do it in have it in one of them. I could look it up. I've done it a few times, but I don't do it often enough to remember how to do it. Oh, I remember. I did it in this one. I can open this up. Have a look. If it's easy, we'll just do it. But I do got to end the stream in like 15 minutes, so we'll try to see if we can do it. If not, I'll just do it and then show it in the video. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's you know, I think like the streaming, you know, definitely not something I want to do if I'm like really trying to concentrate. But I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun like kind of sharing this with people. And I think for me, the biggest benefit, especially to like newcomers or people who are like really beginners and are trying to learn and maybe feel frustrated that they're not getting it. Maybe I'm not the best example of this, but like I've been doing this 5 years and I still like struggle to remember like, how do I do that again? A day doesn't go by unless I'm doing something like very basic or that I've done 100 times where I'm not like, I need to go watch that video again. Or like in this case, I've done this in another project somewhere and I remember, so let me pull up that project and see like how I did it there, and then I could pull it into here. Like this is something as simple as like trying to set up a landscape material, and like I'm actually surprised I remembered how to do this much by memory. You know, like there's things that you just don't do that often. Like every project I would set up one of these landscape materials, or maybe a couple based upon different things, or like set up like a master landscape material for basically any type of landscape that I'm gonna need to create. Just put it all together, spend a couple hours, make it look good, and then it's done, and then I don't go back to it like ever. So like doing this is something I've probably done like 10 times in 5 years, so I'm not gonna remember like how to do it every time. Let's see. There is there's an asset pack that has it in there. Yeah, so this is interesting. They are, they have, what is this? They have these material functions. Let's open up one of these. Grass. So yeah, this is a pretty advanced one. But yeah, they're like setting up all this stuff. They get their texture samples. They do a bunch of math to it. They have all these outputs. But like if you look at these, like they look amazing. Like let me pull this up so you guys can see what it looks like. This type. Yeah, the ships, the widgets. Yeah, it's I think people can benefit from like seeing my thought process, which is why I like to do these streams. And I keep them all on my YouTube so you can go back and watch. Like sometimes it's annoying to like just sit and watch me like think or do like boring things. Like I really try to, like, if I know I'm going to be creating widgets, I try to do that ahead of time because it's just not that interesting to watch someone like sit and create a widget. But well, it's not for me anyway, I should say. This is taking a while to open. But yeah, they in this one, like I always use this. Oh man, now it's really frozen. I always use this landscape. Let's see, it's called like tropical jungle or something. Tropical jungle pack. I just use this a lot as like a reference, or if I know that I'm just going to need like a pretty complex landscape material, I just add this pack to my project. But you can see like looks pretty good, and all this stuff is like, yeah, they do a great job. But I oftentimes I'll just add this to my project and then just know that like I can use this landscape material, and then I don't have to like build one from scratch. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Let's not focus too much on that. But anyway, we got a basic version of it set up, right? I can paint all these walls now. Let the player know, don't hit the walls, you die. And maybe this is a thing where like, there was like, you know, a lot of these types of games, they have like command center giving you information. Like, hey, careful of those walls, you'll blow up. I mean, this looks pretty bad, but if I was going to be, you know, I can spend some more time on this before I throw it into the course. But yeah, you just want to, I think that for this game, there just needs to be, for this level, there needs to be some like visible warning that these walls are different. And like, there's a very clear point where like you're going to hit the wall, right? Like I'm not gonna get too close to that because I will die. But yeah. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. Yeah, if you haven't checked out my course, I have a course that's on YouTube. It's 100% free. This project specifically is one that we make in the course in weeks 5, 6, and 7 of the course. I'm currently working on week 8, which is the last week of the course, so it's an 8-week course. And in week 8, we basically go back to all the projects that we made and put some like extra work into them, make them like ready for a, you know, maybe not like a fully released game, but at least like a portfolio piece that you can like show, you know, if you've got a job interview, you can say like, yeah, this is something I did, I worked on it, I think even at the end of the course, they're not ready as like 100% portfolio piece, but like you could put a few more hours of work into it and really, you know, kind of get it ready to show. Each week takes around 10 hours ish to get through, so maybe the first week not that many, maybe some of the weeks a little bit more, but you know, I wanted it's set up in like weeks because my thought is like you need to learn something and then give yourself time to like absorb it and apply it. So I think the course is best done like in pace with like the weeks that I set up as designed. But I've known some people that maybe like weeks 1 and 2 were more of a review for them, so they maybe burn through those ones really quickly, and then week 3 they spend a little bit more time. Week 4 they spend a little bit more time. So the weeks are more of a suggestion. It's not like, I'm not gonna like give you an F if you go ahead. Like, first of all, I can't. I don't have the ability to give you a grade. But I've like, there's been a few people that maybe get to week 3 and they start to struggle, and they think like, man, like it's just got way harder. And it's like, well, yeah, because you didn't give yourself time to like absorb the information from the course. You need to like learn something and then apply it, and then make sure you understand it before you kind of start to move on to the next thing. But I think the course goes at like a decent pace, to where if you just kind of stay on pace with it, some of the things maybe would be like easier if you already have some experience in Unreal Engine. Some of the things may be a little bit more challenging, but yeah. And by the end of the course, you should have like a pretty good handle on like most aspects of Unreal Engine, basically. But I do think for today, I've just got to wrap up. It's been 2.5 hours. Got to get some actual life done. But yeah, we can just go through, have a look at this really quick. Too long since I've saved. Oh man, I'm the number one example of save often. I think like on stream one time, there was actually a point where I had done like over an hour worth of work, and then Unreal Engine crashed, and I had to like restart. And it wasn't that bad because I had already done it, but like it sucks. But yeah, the autosave I have set to be like pretty frequent because of that, because I forget. But definitely not very good at remembering to save. I want to see if I can physically get through here. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Maybe we put something on the other side that's like annoying, and then like, oh, you can get around it. But yeah. So this looks, I mean, it looks like crap, don't get me wrong. But I think we're getting to a point where it's like, oh, we should put something over here. It's like, maybe we just throw a power up there. Yeah. And then, yeah, and then the level's done. So maybe we need to make this like more of a clearing. But yeah, I think this level is pretty fun. Definitely different than the other levels. So I'll put some more work into it, make it look better, get that landscape material not looking like complete garbage. Like this, like down here, this could be blended a little bit better. It's very apparent what's going on. The tiling is really bad, so definitely can fix all of that stuff. But yeah, I think it's shaping up to be a kind of a fun level, and a fun game. So I'll put some more work into this one before I release the week's worth of courses. But yeah, I appreciate everyone sticking around for the stream today. Hope you enjoyed the stuff that I did. Hope you are learning, at least maybe learning what not to do, like how to make the ship explode when it hits a wall. But yeah, you, like I said, if you haven't already checked out the course, you know, definitely recommend that. Look at some of my other videos as well. But I'm getting close to finishing all of the recordings for week 8, so that should be out. I was hoping to have it out this weekend. I don't think I'll hit that target, but you know, within the next week or so probably. And I already have like half of it recorded, so I just got to go and do the rest of them and then edit them. But yeah, I think that's probably good for today. So thanks everyone for sticking around and watching, hanging out, and I'll see you around.